And Alt5 Sigma told the SEC that the accountant left a certain date. The accountant tells you he left a different date. It's more than 4 days apart, well more than 4 days apart. Can they get in trouble, Alt5 Sigma, for this discrepancy? And or can they get in trouble for not filing this report on time?
They can get into trouble for both of those based on reading the SEC rules and also speaking to a couple of experts in financial law. And that submitting information that is materially false is problematic. Also, not informing them in time is an issue. Now, whether any of this gets enforced is another matter. It seems like the SEC under Donald Trump is not really doing a lot of enforcement in general, and speculation. But it seems like the SEC is not particularly going to be motivated to go after a company that is holding, that acquired $1.5 billion of World Liberty Financial Tokens, which is a company that Donald Trump co-founded and has a financial stake in.
And so now you're reporting this report and then your report last month that Alt5 Sigma could have violated SEC rules multiple times now. Would the SEC investigate? I know that you said it's not looking likely. What would that really look like?
It's a great question. They do have a subpoena power, is my understanding, so they could get all sort of documentation there, internal emails that might show one side versus the other. Now, one area that the company is facing repercussions is with NASDAQ, which is a regulatory agency, not a government body, but they have informed Alt5 Sigma recently that they were at risk of being delisted because they're out of compliance for not having filed that quarterly report. So that was something we reported yesterday, where Alt5 Sigma now has a few months to get back to the NASDAQ and say, okay, we are back in compliance. We're having our stuff on order. Here's how we're going to make sure this mistake doesn't happen again. So they are looking at some potentially being delisted from NASDAQ as a result of not filing that quarterly report.
And how common is that for NASDAQ to tell a company, hey, you're no longer meeting requirements to be listed, you're non-compliant, you could be delisted? Is that rare?
No, it's a great question. I don't know. They do have a whole webpage of companies that are out of compliance, so it's not something that's unique. We covered this before. We probably spoke about it before. This happened with Digital World Acquisition Corp, the blank check company that acquired Trump Media, parent company of True Social. They were actually sent a similar letter that they were at risk of being out of compliance. So we have a couple examples of it happening here, but it doesn't sound all that common. I asked William Hudgens, who is Alt5 Sigma's former accountant, just, in general, what does it mean when a company doesn't submit a quarterly report? And he said that usually means that it has some sort of issues.
And so since NASDAQ alerted Alt5 Sigma and say, hey, you're no longer meeting the listing requirements, did it automatically get delisted? What are the next steps here for Alt5 Sigma?
No, it's still there. It's still listed. The next steps would be to come back to NASDAQ with that plan to explain how they're going to be in compliance. Obviously, they need to get an auditor on board pretty quickly. And then they still have that outstanding quarterly report from the third quarter that they haven't filed.